No, higher.
Nie ma takiego numeru.
Yeah, boy, welcome to What I Learned This Week's. Maybe things I learned this week's. What is reality? We're gonna section this out into 3 sections. Tech tip, biz tip, life tip. Okay, y'all, let's get started on today's tech tip. I have 2 juicy gems for your consumption. Also my consumption, because when I learn these, they blow my mind. Let's start with tech tip number 1. Please turn your attention to the screen. So, maybe you knew, you probably know these tips already anyways, but maybe, did you know you can align 3 things to the top with these alignment tools, or to the bottom with that? However, if you want to align things to the middle, watch the blue square when I align to the middle. The blue square goes up, right? They all go to the middle of what was the top and the bottom item. Let's say we want to align this one and this one, align to the blue, but we want to align it where the blue one is. You can select everything and then don't hold anything on the keyboard and click the one you want to align to again. It'll get another blue border around it. And now you can hit middle and they'll align to the one you selected. Oh my gosh. Okay, probably you guys knew that already, but this was a very new thing for me and it changes the game entirely. This will save so much time because you can also align to things like rulers. So I can align my ruler to the middle of this guy, right? So you select everything you want involved in the Olympic sport here, and then you select the one that you want to go to. So you don't hit anything on the keyboard, so you have a double line around it. And then I can align my ruler to the bottom of that box, the top of that box, or the middle of that box. Okay, so that was tech tip number 1. You can align things to objects by just clicking on it again. Oh, super cool. Let me know in the comments below if you knew that already or if you didn't know it. Also, let me know if that will be helpful or not. Probably it won't be until you get to a situation where you're like, whoa, this could be really helpful. Okay, let's hop on to tech tip number 2. Now this one equally blew my mind. Let's say you have something that has a lot of colors in it. This only has 3, but it could be infinite. And let's say that it's in a group. Let's say you've made all this, and now you're thinking to yourself, I don't like the blue color. So what I used to do to change that was I used to double click to go into the group, and then I would select all the blues, right? I'd have to click all of these. The other way is to only select one, and then use the menu, and you can select all the same color, which I think takes equally amount as just clicking all of them. But here's the key. You can select everything, don't even have to go in the group, and then you can hit this. Recolor artwork. This circle pie thing is the lifesaver for working with colors in Illustrator. Watch. Okay, so it brings up this dialog box. If I want to just change that blue, let's say I want to change this blue to a little bit of a darker blue. Something over here. I can press OK, and it'll change that color. And I'll be able to see it in real time. And I'll think, okay, maybe I need to change this orange tan color. Maybe I want it to be a little bit lighter. You can change that as well. I want to change the pink. Heck yes. Something like that. And you can do all of that without going back in or selecting any of the specific items. You just have to select all of them, then hit the recolor artwork button, and you will have ultimate power for good and for evil. Okay, so that was tech tip number 2. Let me know if you already knew about the recoloring artwork wheel, or if it was new information. Yeah, so this one should be like directly helpful almost all the time if you're working with a number of colors in a group in Illustrator, which happens fairly often depending on what your job is. All right. Thank you very much. Let's hop into what I'm calling the second section, which is biz tips. Today's tip number 1 is the importance of using mockups. Now, when I was younger, I used to have this thought in my head. I used to think mockups are just kind of extemporaneous things that we add to it that don't actually add value. I just thought if it's a good design, it'll be a good design. People know it's a good design. If it's a bad design, you're not going to save a bad design with mock-ups, right? That was my thought process. But recently, I've come to think there's definitely a right way to do mock-ups that absolutely enhances the design. And it doesn't necessarily have to enhance the design. It just enhances the picture. I try to create 3 mock-ups very purposefully with including different textures and applications. So for example, let's say I have a logo. One, I will maybe want to put it on a t-shirt or a tote bag to see how it would look printed on cloth. Then another I might show on a business card or a piece of paper, and maybe letterpressed. Some sort of paper texture to see how it might look printed in CMYK. And then the third, I might come up with a digital version. So one example is you can get an Instagram profile layout mock-up and then put their logo in the icon, the profile picture icon. So that way you've mocked it up with a purpose. I've come across 2 websites that are really fantastic for mock-ups because they have a lot of freebies. Who's not into freebies? Nobody. So the first one is graphicburger.com. They have a bunch of different mock-ups and they have a relatively large amount of them as free mock-ups, and a lot of them are linked out to other places on Creative Market, which you can pay some for if you think it's a really good mock-up that you'll use multiple times. Okay, the second website, sitio de web que me gusta, is mockupworld.co. This one's also very nice. They have a lot of free things, and neither of them are sponsoring the video, by the way. Oh gosh. Remember, we are not advertiser friendly. Apparently, they hate us. They hate Design Champions. Whatever. We don't need them. All right, my friends, that was the biz tip for today. All right, today's 4th and final tip falls into the category of life tips. And I am in a uniquely distinct position to give life tips because my life is perfect. No. Actually, I have a lot of reservations with giving any kind of advice about life at all, so I'm not going to. I'll just say one thing that I've instituted in the last month that has really helped out a lot, and that is in the form of 7-minute workouts in the morning in my living room, and something very, very easy. Like I'm doing aerobics for beginners. Does that make sense? Because I think this is something that I wake up and I'm not daunted by. I don't have to get up much earlier at all. It's nothing that I think about, oh gosh, tomorrow morning I'm gonna have to do that, right? It's something that's easily accomplished, and it's so much better. Because here's one alternative. You do really hardcore workouts for a week or even 2 weeks, and then you don't do anything for 6 months, or you do really easy workouts that are fun, and you get 7 to 10 minutes of exercise every morning, and you can keep that going forever. Yeah. And so far, it's been having, I think, a very positive effect. Moving my entire body early in the morning, which is a very important step to being a good designer. Okay, guys, what would be super awesome is if you write in the comments, like, which section do you think is most valuable to you at this moment? Then I can figure out, like, oh, I can just get rid of, life tips, for example. or if there's specific things that you think would fall into each category, like what are some questions about how you do some freelance projects, or what are questions about some Illustrator or Photoshop that you can put in there, and then I could search up, look into it for next week's episode of what I learned this week's. Yeah. Of course, let me know in the comments below if how this video setup went. Otherwise, if it's not good, then we can just get rid of it and do something else. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I really hope you have a really nice, relaxing, or productive weekend, whatever you need it to be right now. I hope that it's a fulfilling one. And I can't wait to see you on Monday. I'll catch y'all later, alligators, and stay awesome, possum champions. Bye, guys.